Hello, Commonwealth. Well, VIPs specifically. So Mark apparently volunteered me for a post-show chat, which is jolly kind of him, isn't it? So let's get comfy. And yeah, so I'm going to be here for a short period. It's about 11 o'clock at night in the UK, so I'm obviously flagging a bit. Long day, obviously got to make that dollar. So naturally, I'm a little bit worse for wear. So I'm quite happy to sit and chat, obviously, as long as people are here to actually talk, which is always helpful. And yeah, ask me anything you want. You can ask me questions about what we've just recorded. You can ask me questions about other things that may not have made it into the show notes. And obviously, you can let me know if you can hear me clearly, because I can hear me because I got headphones on. But obviously, if you can't hear me, then that's a problem. So we need to address that post haste. So thankfully, it seems to be so far. Mark is watching, which is better than nothing. I would like to see more of you. So I don't mean Mark. I don't mean what I mean. Yes, see what I mean about tiredness. So I'm going to wait till there's a few more people, maybe before I start telling about the whole reason for one of the reasons for being here. Anyway, oh wow! So it's the first time I've seen Mark Aries. Mark Aries is the one who put together the TSW Toy Box artwork for this episode, and it's top notch. Even though I do say so myself, almost as good as the theme tune, not quite. But yeah, so there's definitely, and also off the back of that, we've also had some really nice chats around answering some of the questions that people had from the first episode. So we've already had some queries about some of the stuff that we talked about. So what we'll do is we're kind of thinking, quick intro, like a recap of what we bought recently, and then we'll do sort of the mailbag from the previous episode of questions, of follow-up stuff, and then we'll do the bulk of the discussion for the next episode, and then we'll kind of cap off with what we want to accumulate next. So obviously Jeremy is the collector and Mark is the supreme leader, the emperor, and that'll make sense once you've seen once you've heard the TSW toy box. Rob, should we make sure that the round table and toy box are made 2 weeks apart to space them out for the VIPs? That's fine by me, Rob. Hello, by the way, Rob. That's fine by me, mate. I'm trying to synchronize. I suppose I guess it's more of a Mark question, because I just send them over and then he puts them in a thing. So that's fine by me. I will just, to be honest, at this point, I'm having enough trouble, getting the right, because I can only do Sundays with the Toy Box guys. So I'm thinking that I'm just going to do them when I have a chance, and what I'll do is I can always put them together, put them in the Dropbox, and give Mark a kind of rough date of when they can turn up, so that suits me fine. I like that we're kind of talking shop in the middle of the VIP chat, which is always funny. What else we got? So that's, yeah, but as I say, to summarise, Rob, that's absolutely fine by me. That makes perfect sense, and I've got no issue with it whatsoever. However, Rob, I'm going to send you something cool. I've just sent it to Mark. It's a piece of artwork for the new E14 podcast that's in my head at the moment. I'm trying to get it out of my head and onto the page, or the equivalent of the page, when it comes to podcasts. So I'm just going to put that in Twitter for you, so you can see that. Actually, no, I'll send it to you. No, I'll send it to you by Facebook. That's probably easier, as I've got it open. Makes perfect sense, doesn't it? Does it not? Now I've got 3 people watching. Hello, third person. Make yourself known. It's always nice to know who I'm being ogled by. Robcast. There's Robcast. There it is. Right. Sent you that, Rob, so you can see the artwork that's kind of a working copy of what's going to end up being a new E14 podcast. So if you're following both E14 and TSW for my bits and pieces, look forward to an announcement in the not too distant future about a new E14 podcast made by yours truly. Hello, Nathan, it's you. Boo. Or are you just booing me? Is this a surprise boo, or is this a boo, not you? You bastard. No, I mean, you're saying that to me. Anyway. And Tim. Hello, Tim. Well, that's interesting. I'm getting updates from Facebook, because I've got the Facebook window open here, and I've got the VIP, the video window open here, and I've got different messages coming through in different ones. Hello, Tim. How the devil are you, mate? Just going to turn the gain up on this a little bit because I'm having to sit right up close to the mic, and that's all well and good, except it's killing my back because I'm tall and old. Or told. 10 minutes. I prefer to leave things open to interpretation. I'm going to take it as booing because I find it funnier, and also because it's been over a week since I've been told to kill myself on social media, and this is the closest I've got, so I'm going to have it. I love the idea I'm becoming like a public enemy #1, even though I've not really done anything in any respect. But there you go. I had a chance, by the way, last night, because obviously everybody requested a multitude of different games for a TSW plays, starring me with me, and I had a tinker with it last night, so I'll give you an update on how it's going. I had a tinker with it last night. I'm not amazingly content with the audio levels in terms of the quality of audio that's recording, so I'm going to invest in some sort of kit, hopefully a cheap bit of kit. I'm going to pick Steve from Talk Star Wars Brains, because he was using a PS4 headset tonight and it sounded lovely, so I'm going to see if I can get one of those, and maybe it'll sound alright on PS4. Because when I did it I tried it using the inbuilt one, not the inbuilt one, the one that comes with it, the bundled one, the bundled sort of little tiny earbud with a mic on the end, and that sounded okay. And then I used my Astro A40s, which are really nice headphones, and that came out about the same. So I don't know whether I need to tinker with the settings to make it work better, or whether I'm just not destined to get any decent kind of sound out of it, in which case I'll just have to, maybe I can tidy it up in post-production or something, who knows. But I have been working towards it. It is less far away than it was yesterday. Well, actually, it happened yesterday. So it's less far away than it was the day before yesterday. So it's getting there. I'm kind of working towards having a thing going. I haven't figured out a way to stream it to Facebook Live. I don't think there is one. So I'm going to have to just upload it as and when. I'm quite happy for it to be VIP first. I'll have a chat to Mark behind the scenes and figure out what we want to do with that. But I have the means to do it, so if people want to do that, then I can do that. And it just adds to the value of the VIP feed, which, nobody needs to tell you the value of the VIP feed. It's just bloody marvellous. You get so much of me and Mark, and not so much Steve, Jeremy, the other Mark. So you get some cool people, no doubt there. So yeah, I love this because I didn't realize how capable I was of waffling aimlessly for upwards of 15 minutes, but look at me, I'm still going. Just the trick is shutting me up. Anybody should know this. Except I am disappointed in the lack of Canadians, apart from yourself, Nathan, who are gracing us with their presence. It is a perfectly reasonable hour where they are, and obviously myself, Mr. Cast, and Tim, if you're still there. Thank you, waffling well. I waffle like a crepe cafe, or a crap cafe. They're known for waffling, I guess. But actually, now I think about it, I've got some really good Canadian representation. It's always nice to have more, isn't it? I'm kind of basically, Kyle is not here. Dave Donovan's not here. Jeremy's not here. I don't know. They turned up for Marks. It's just, you've made your choice. I get it. No hard feelings. Hell, I'm at the pet store and I showed up. Okay, I want to hear about that, Nathan. Why are you at the pet store? It's a reasonable 4:10 p.m. here. That is reasonable. And there's a Canadian flag from Mr. Cast. I'm very much allied with the Commonwealth Brethren. No argument there. In fact, Canada was one of our first acquisitions as a Commonwealth. It was one of the first ones to sort of make it into the Commonwealth, was Canadian shows. Obviously the Tumbling Saber and Generation X-Wing, both top-notch entertainment. And obviously we've only expanded out with the top-notch entertainment since then, because now we have, 6? So hang on, I'm going to work it out. Talk Star Wars, Tumbling Saber, Generation X-Wing, Nerd Room, Skyhoppers, Rogues. Yeah, 6. That's a good amount, 6. I think that's a good amount. And especially when, TSW is bulking out the whole program. And a lot of shows are. I mean, Tumbling Saber's got their Generals of the Willing, which is awesome. Sith Disturbers is a wonderful bit of fun, especially when they bust Corey's chops. I can't get enough of it. Gen X-Wing's got Outer Rim Rookie. We're just so busy, and we do it because it's fun, and you guys are enjoying it. I'm buying a Weasel. It's only a matter of time, and I want to choose my side. You're going to have to explain to me what you mean by choose your side, Nathan. Are there different types of Weasels, perhaps in some sort of bitter turf war? I kind of want that to be true now. I don't really care what I do want to know what the reality is, but in my head, this is more fun anyway. Interesting. Marvel Recap Nerdroom. Yes, Nerdroom's Marvel Recap stuff is great stuff. I did enjoy with great aplomb the comics. I can't remember what you called it, Tim, but the comics podcast where you sort of delved into storylines, sort of recommended storylines. I've actually picked up a few and added them to my Marvel Unlimited reading list. So I'm going to go based on your recommendations and pick up Avengers Disassembled and the Spider-Man Gauntlet stuff if I can get it. Essential Comic Arcs, that's the one. Thank you, Nathan. The war is bound to begin sooner or later. What, Humans versus Weasels? Really? You must have intelligence I don't have. In the military sense, and in general. This is what's going on. This is why Outer Rim Rookie is also live now. So they're treading on my views, trying to get my mind share or whatever the wanky corporate business word is for it currently. It's probably mind share. Mind share is a popular one. Find it loathsome. So, I'll tell you what I'm going to talk about very briefly. I watched today a trailer for a movie called Valerian and something of 1,000 Cities, World of 1,000 Cities or something like that. And it looks, visually, it looks stunning. It's a Luc Besson, so it's not that surprising that it's got a distinctive visual style, but my God, it looks amazing. I mean, I'm not familiar with the graphic novel it's based on. I don't know if the film's going to be any good, but I can't remember the last time I saw a trailer I was blown away by on a visual level like that. Absolutely outstanding. It's been a good week for trailers, actually, because I quite like the Justice League one. I'm slightly more of a DC guy than a Marvel guy, but not by much. There's not a lot in it, because I'm not a huge comic guy either way. I'm working on it, but it's tough. Now I just had to buy rabbit food. Oh, okay. Fair enough. I like the Weasel Turf War thing more, Weasel versus Humans, so that's my headcanon, Nathan, so I'm having that. It does look really good. It's the Valerian, right? Yeah, definitely. Looks amazing. Like I say, I can't remember the last time I've been blown away visually by a trailer to that degree in some time. Possibly the first Guardians of the Galaxy? I can't remember now. Second one looked good, but more of the same in a good way. And obviously on a visual level, that's hard to quantify. Being blown away by. Justice League looks cool. What else have I watched? I haven't been keeping up with the Planet of the Apes ones. I like the Wonder Woman trailer. Spider-Man looked cool. They gave away, well, not gave away. They mentioned a lot of the storyline stuff in that trailer. So I don't know if that's gonna end up being a little bit counterproductive. I'm hoping not. I read something the other day on that subject, Tim, that there's somebody high up at Sony is saying that Spider-Man's got up until Infinity War, and then he's back out into the Sony universe, which seems daft. Got a jet. All right, take care, Nathan. Bye, mate. Hopefully your purchase goes smoothly. What do you say? But yeah, that's what I heard. It was somebody at Sony was saying that Spider-Man was only going to be an MCU character until the end of Infinity War, and then they would jump back into the Sony Spider-Man universe for what I'm guessing is another inevitable reboot, which is a shame because I actually quite liked the Andrew Garfield approach. Maybe a solo sequel, but yeah, terrible idea. Yeah, not as terrible as the Venom one, which seems to be disconnected completely from the universe and seems to have just been thrown in to capitalize on a familiar brand. Seems a very odd choice. Don't really get it at all. But again, that might be something that makes more sense if you're a more hardcore comics fan. my kind of comics knowledge is limited to the characters I've got in HeroClix and some odd characters here and there in Marvel and DC. Punisher's a big one for me. Constantine, obviously Hellblazer originally, but Constantine, even the New 52 stuff's pretty good. But yeah, those are my sort of preferred characters in Marvel and DC respectively. I quite like Batman. I read some of the Scott Snyder run, the New 52, and enjoyed that, but beyond that, I've not really delved in too much in the DC stuff. I'm not a massive Superman guy. I find him a bit boring because in similar... Can't do Venom without Spider-Man, so not sure how they're going to do that. No, me neither. Especially because he's a villain, so how are they going to have a villain as the star of the film without having heroes to fight? Doesn't seem right. Anyway, so yeah, with Superman, I don't know how familiar you guys are in Canada or in the States with Captain Scarlet. So he's a Jerry Anderson puppet show, a bit like Thunderbirds, and he's invulnerable. He's a creation of, I can't remember the exact story. He's like a creation of the Mysterons who then turns to the side of good, and he's indestructible. And I found that very hard to care about. So why would I care about him being in peril? Because nothing they can do to him. And that's the problem I've got with Superman, really, is he's so powerful that it's very difficult to do any damage to him. So I've seen two examples of where I think that's a good idea. I like the concept of Red Sun. I've never read it, but it seems like a good concept because it's Superman explored from the positive view of the danger is not that he's vulnerable, it's that he's not on the side of the US anymore. And the other one was in one of the Superman video games, they gave the health bar to Metropolis instead of Superman, which made perfect sense. Otherwise, I watched a bit of the Justice League cartoons, and he's all right in that. You know, he's made sufficiently vulnerable that he can be sort of taken out of a fight without being dispatched permanently, which is always helpful. And I've seen the Death of Superman comic, like the adaptation for TV as well. I've read the comic, and that was all right. Not really amazing, but it was all right. It was enjoyable enough. Soup's not my dude. Oh, Tim's the Marvel guy. I'm sorry, Tim. I didn't mean to lump you in and force you to, to pick a side. But yeah, no, Superman's not my dude either. I'd say if they can make something interesting out of him, that's fine. But it tends not to revolve around his vulnerability. It tends to revolve around something else. Tim is the Marvel guy. So is Troy the DC guy, or is the other guy the guy who turned up for the comic arcs discussion? I can't remember his name. I feel terrible. Is it Sanjay or something like that? Yeah, that sounds right. With the time delay not being able to verify it, I'm just going to assume it's that. So yeah, he was a DC guy. I remember him saying. So is Troy Sanjay? Yeah, there you go. He's DC, and then is Troy Marvel as well, or is he a mix or what? I don't really know. Troy's in the middle. Oh, he's like me then. He's sort of a grey, or somebody with a really comfortable fence to sit on. This is what always happens. Bendu. He's a Bendu. There you go. This is what always happens to me. Is I come on for the intention was to be like a 5-10 minute thing, and then you guys just keep me enraptured with excellent questions and discussion, and I end up staying for well beyond when I'm entertaining. Yeah, but yeah, if you have a chance, check out the Toy Box episode 1. I'm really happy with how it turned out. The audio quality, considering the file I start off with, is pretty good. The theme tune's I'm really proud of. It's really fun, and the what's it called? The artwork is Mark Aries' handiwork, and that's awesome. And the roundtable's a really great chat. It's me and Dan Solo and Rob Cast, and even though it's a light cast, it's a really, 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 really fun discussion. Dan's really nice, and I was really, really glad to talk to him. And obviously, it's always nice to speak to Rob Cast. Fun fact, this time last week when I was doing the post-show live stream, just afterwards I ended up phoning Rob Cast, and we had a chat for about half an hour on Skype as well. So I just don't stop. I did about three hours worth of live streaming last week. I worked out in the end 2.5 hours or so, and then I had to chat to Rob Cast. I recorded, talked Star Wars, I recorded a couple of videos over the course of the week. I've just done one for E14 that, in fact, I've just remembered I need to pull down so that I can. I'm gonna get a project file going for this next video. So basically, I got it's an E14 toy box. I'm gonna have to change the name because I keeping them mixed up. It's my own stupid fault. I thought it'd be easier on me, but it's actually the opposite. Come on. Started in the next town over, I think, that one. Anyway. Yeah, so I've been recording videos. I got some posts, and it was a game. I wasn't sure at first, but it was a game that I kickstarted. So I'm quite excited to open that up. Very much in your wheelhouse. Excellent. So this is good. Yeah, so I'm working. I've got ideas of doing some good stuff with this video. So it's basically just a really quick video talking about this thing I bought, and I'm quite pleased with it. And I'm sure once people see it, they'll be a bit intrigued. Actually, I'm going to close that down and start again. I'll do that later. Yes. I think that toy box collecting would be in my wheelhouse if I had more space. Problem I have is a lack of space. Sometime I will do a Facebook Live from my phone instead of my laptop and camera, and I will take a wander around the flat and show you guys sort of how much space I have to work with, and some of the stuff, bits and pieces I have, because I have a little bit of everything. I have Funko Pops, and I have bits and bobs. Like I have X-Wing ships because I'm a sort of lapsed X-Wing player, so I have some really nice ones, like I have the Ghost and stuff like that. But 1% battery on my commute home. Have to take off. A pleasure as always. Have a good evening. Okay, Tim. Best of British, mate. And hopefully your battery is not completely flat and gives you enough to get home. So enjoy yourself and stop wasting your energy and your battery on me, my worthless ass. Anyway, yeah, so I've got Funko Pops and X-Wing ships. And obviously, the HeroClix is not really a Star Wars thing, but if people are interested, I can always have a look at those too. It's always worth a laugh. Rob, have you just sent me these pictures because you put the Roman Castle logo, Roman Pod and Castle on literally everything, or is this just how it would look in your mind if... I'm interested to know. So he's just sent me... So the picture I just sent him when I mentioned there was a space to play in, he's sent me a picture back with the Roman Pod and Castle logo just embedded in it, in the space that I was referring to. And like I say, it's... Yes. So is it one or is it the other? Yes. Great. So I'm guessing it's because... Yeah, I'll take it as a sign that that's how it would look in that... in that instance. Yeah, I like that. It's good. Yeah, it works. That's kind of the idea. But I'm really pleased with that. Hopefully it will come across nice and clear. I should make sure that when it does get launched, I'm sure, Mark's usually pretty good with cross-promoting stuff for me, so I'm sure it will turn up exactly how it would look. Yeah, so I think you're right. I think that would be exactly spot on. And I think that is a very smart way of doing it, actually. In fact, I'll probably do that with every time I do it. Every person I speak to in regards to this particular subject will be... So incidentally, on the subject, I'm still open to the suggestion of the VIPs as to anything I can do to entertain you folks. That also that goes for E14 as well. If you have an idea for that, then I'm always open to hearing it. But specifically in this case, we're obviously talking about TSW, so I'm not allowed to cross-promote. Don't forget to check out TSW Comics. Speaking of talking, although not talking excessively, I'm going to hope that Mark, when he does the edit finally for YouTube, he leaves this in. When it comes to Talk Star Wars episode 63, a different Steve turns up. He's on time. He sounds amazing. His audio quality is like infinitely better. And he's read the show notes. He's digested the show notes, and he comes back, and he just whoops my ass on good ideas. And I'm not, I'm used to him having good ideas, but not to the degree. I felt surplus to requirements for the first time since I started doing Talk Star Wars, just because Steve was on fire. So for episode 63, look forward to that, because it is quite something. It was amazing in the room. I can only imagine on the final cut how it will sound, but he was just smashing it, absolutely smashing it. So I'm looking forward to seeing the reaction from the TSW faithful, including obviously your good selves. I'm very interested in seeing what you guys make of his response to not being on for a few weeks, because he just, from my point of view, he knocks it out of the park, just absolutely smashes it. So that's a surprise. Well rested. That must be it, Rob. He must have been saying his prayers and eating his vitamins and hulking up, brother. So because he's just come out sweating, and my head as well. It's just knocked me into a cocked hat, as the oh my, not that kind of. Anyway, so I think it is time for me to bid you fine folks adieu, and I shall speak to you at a later date. So thank you for watching. Again, as always, if you've watched this after the fact, then thank you very much. If you've been watching live and chatting along with me, thank you too, in a different way, and may the force be with you.
Let's talk about Loot Crate. Are you on a quest for epic gear, housewares and collectibles? Loot Crate offers an epic range of pop culture items for less than $20 per month. Whether you're shopping for the geek in your life or you are that geek, Loot Crate is the best surprise you know is coming. Every month there's a different theme and new and exclusive items that you can only get with Loot Crate. Treat yourself every month, or give the gift of geeking out to a friend or a loved one. You have until the 19th at 9 PM Pacific to subscribe and receive that month's crate, and when the cut-off happens, that's it, it's over. Make sure to head to lootcrate.com/TalkStarWars and enter the code TalkStarWars and save $3 off your new subscription today.